Thank you. Thank you very much. It's Ed Mariziak from East Toronto Living. I'm Ed Mariziak. I'm the man in the chair. And in this video, we're going to look at an article from BuzzFeed. And that article is titled, Realtors are sharing the subtle red flags they look for when seeing a home for the first time. And they're so smart. They are indeed smart. And if you want to see what these red flags are, stay tuned. If you could do me a big favor, I really, really like it when people subscribe if you haven't already, and share the video and leave comments. Comments, help the channel grow. They give me ideas. They encourage engagement on the channel, and we want the channel to keep going up. And I've been very fortunate. The channel's been doing quite well, and let's keep that happening. And don't forget, if you have any questions about real estate, or if you want to get out and look at some of the properties that we've been featuring, and the season's really starting to pick up, as you may have noticed, I've been shooting a lot of video tours for properties. So if you want to see any of them or any of the surrounding areas, the areas I cover, here's my contact information. Call me, text me, send me an email, send me a carrier pigeon. Let's meet for coffee. If you're from out of town, let's have a Zoom meeting, and let's talk about your real estate needs. Okay, hey, let's jump right in. So, okay, the title is Realtors are sharing the subtle red flags they look for when seeing a home for the first time, and they're so smart. They are indeed. And this is actually from BuzzFeed. List a whole pile of things to look for when looking for a home for the very first time. I mean, now when I do property tours, I'll point out some flaws that I see or things that I like and I don't like, and I'll talk about stuff and point it out. And I'm not sure if the owner loves that, but I don't care, because I think people have a right to know. I mean, that's our job. But obviously, I'm highlighting the good stuff as well of the property, and usually I will keep it, not too much, not too many flaws. But also, we want to sell the house, but we got to be forthright and point out things that that might be a problem. And usually they're pretty small, and if they're big, we'll point it out. But anyway, let's get cracking. Okay, so the first thing here is the grading, and this comes up a lot. The angle at which the ground slopes at the house's foundation. So yeah, things that I look for. There's a street not far from where I live, and the houses are kind of at a bottom of a little hill. So when it rains, water will just pour in, and all these houses all have sub pumps, all of them. I live not far from that street. I don't have a sub pump, and my house has never flooded. We had this torrential rain. The Don Valley Parkway, the Don Valley was flooded completely. I even put it a YouTube video. I put it up on YouTube years ago. I wonder if I could find that. If I do, I'll try to put it up. Anyhow, our house didn't flood. And we don't have a sub pump. So, but these things you got to look out for, because this could be a problem. Also, you do what this article suggests is that you do a little walk around, and just see if the house is kind of sitting, and watch out for kind of sinking. Now, another thing you can do, and I do this for every house, is when I go in the basement, I look for leaks. That's the first thing I do. Or, or notice if there's any smells or anything. Like you could smell. Sometimes you can even feel dampness, humidity, and then you got to ask yourself, where is that coming from? And you often can see a leak. So yeah, grading definitely. It's the number one, or maybe they're saving the worst to last. I don't know, but that's something you want to look out for. Number two are watch out for sellers that do DIYs, because quite often they could do a pretty crappy job. Um, what this article talks about some kitchen cupboards that were done by an owner. Now, honestly, come on. Kitchens are not easy to do. You do need a professional to do a kitchen. Kitchens and bathrooms, require a high level of skill. So, I mean, definitely, if someone is doing a kitchen and they're doing it themselves, yeah, I'd say that's a red flag. So, yeah, I agree with that. But you never know. I mean, sometimes, my wife and I do a lot of DIYs. We've renovated 2 properties ourselves completely, everything. Yeah, I mean, we haven't done a perfect job, but we're still living. Well, one house one property we sold, which was an investment property, and the other one we still live in, and well, seems to be going well. So, but yeah, let's keep an eye on this kind of stuff for sure, on without question. Another one is now if you see icicles forming around the roof, that's a good sign that the roof isn't insulated. And yeah, this I knew, and this I look for. So yeah, that's a red flag there. So that could be quite dear and expensive, and they'll want to get that done. So let's keep blasting through this because there's a lot. Fresh paint, for fresh paint, new carpet. Um, this article, points out that if there's fresh paint, new carpet, but there's nothing else updated, it's they call it a Realtor remodel special. So there's some things probably we want to check out. But again, you know that's why we get a home inspected by a proper home inspector. And when I usually use people that have a that are really good, have good reputation, and so forth. So that's something that we need to get that inspected. I'm not always gonna see everything. I'll see some stuff, but fresh paint, new covered. I mean, again, this is when you also got to look at the pricing of the property and how it's positioned and so forth. These things you gotta, and how long it's been sitting on the market. All these things got weigh into the factor about before you put an offer in. Okay, go to showings when it's rainy as hell. Okay, well, I mean, I get what are getting at here, but is it going to be raining every time you go out to see property? Especially if you see a property you like, what are you gonna wait for 2 weeks for it to rain and then book an appointment and wait and go in there when it's raining and inspect to see if if there's leaks? Again, I mean, this goes back to looking at the foundation and so forth, and looking for leaks and looking, going and see if the house is kind of, the sloping and the sitting. Oh, one more thing about that point is, I like to I look for homes, that are kind of sitting on a hill. That way, all the rain kind of washes away from the house. So if it's kind of sitting on a hill, that's probably a good thing. And I think that's partly that's kind of. I mean, I'm not on a hill, but my house kind of sits up a little bit high or higher. Maybe that's why we don't get the leaking like some of the houses did. It was a big flood that year. I had 2 listings, and the one listing had the whole backyard flooded, but the water went away quickly and didn't go in the house. But the other house flooded, and that actually became a big problem. The buyer, it was a firm. It was a deal. The deal was firm, and they inspected it the day after or the day of. of the flooding. And anyway, it turned out to be a disaster. The owner went to court, and unfortunately, yeah, well, yeah, these things can happen. We got to be careful. You can't lie, and you can't play games. Okay. Number 6 here is get the sewer line inspected. Basement sewer backups they're bad. Um, no question. Again, a good home inspector can have a look see, and I mean, y- sometimes you can tell from the smell. Sometimes, and I think also, and don't quote me on this. I've never had a problem with properties that had sewer backups, but what I think can happen is you have a perfectly good sewer line, and then 5 years down the road, a problem can emerge. Perhaps as the house ages, maybe tree roots get into the lines. Who knows? So, but yeah, I think it doesn't hurt to get everything inspected, and that would definitely be something you want to look for. But I honestly, I mean, the only thing I got to go on is the smell. If I go down to the basement, and I smell. So and actually in my house, I could sometimes smell sewer fumes from the drain in the basement. They're not overpowering or anything. Just occasionally you smell them. But what does that mean? I don't know. Maybe just some gas down below. Okay, so here's something number 7 here. My grandfather sold 2 houses sold real estate for decades. The first 2 things they look for is you got to have a good roof and a good furnace. Agreed. You know. Now again, price. If you're getting a steal of a deal for a house and it's got a crappy roof, then you got to weigh these things. But yeah, try. If you're a first time home buyer, a roof could run you a lot of money to get done. Could be upwards of 30,000, 40,000. I mean, I just had mine done 5, 6 years ago, and I think it was 20 grand. They did a good job. So they were good roofers. They did a fabulous job, but that's a lot of money. You want to, I mean, keep an eye. And furnaces are also, I mean, they're coming down in price, I think, because I was talking to my furnace guy. He says he can replace my furnace for 3,500 tops, and they're more efficient. They're smaller. They're they're cheaper. Takes up less room. So yeah, but do you really want to drop 35 grand before taxes? Or actually, no, he said 35 all in. Anyway, let's say yeah, 3,500 bucks. It's a lot of money. You don't need it. If you can avoid it, don't. Lots of stuff going on here. Number 8, check the attic. Okay, now the inspector will do that. And what this article suggests is, look at the actual AC ducts, and if you smell sort of a burnt smell, that could be a problem. Okay, so that I really wasn't too aware of, but yeah, you definitely check the the attics. Okay, this is again more foundation problems. Foundation problems are common, and again, we're getting back to the foundation. So they've already cited 3 different issues with foundation in this article alone here. So obviously, it's very important. Most houses in my part of the country are on slabs or without basements. Actually, where I sometimes sell real estate in Collingwood, there are crawl spaces or no basement. But if you're close to the water, that could be a problem. So you want to, definitely, really, check for shifting. And they show there's an image here. Actually, I'll put the image up of some cinder block that are cracking. So yeah, take a little walk around and look for cracking in and out. I notice that anyway. That's not always a big, huge red flag, but because I actually bought a property with a crack in it and wasn't a big hairy deal. It was a teeny crack, but it was an old house, but that wasn't according according to the inspector, that wasn't a big deal. But yeah, you want to know about it for sure. Okay, yeah. Number 10, check cell phone signal. I mean, you don't want to move into a house and have one bar on your cell phone. So make sure your phone, you have full signal. That's a good one. Yeah, you don't think of it. You don't think of this always, eh? But yeah, that's something you want to, make sure is good. The AC, check the AC condenser outside. Usually they last for about 15 years. So you want to see the manufacturing date on them. So check that outside. So that's a good one too. Now, if you walk into the house and you smell Febreze, oh yeah, this is a good one. And I'm well aware of. When you smell Febreze air fresheners, well, they're probably trying to hide something usually. So really kind of be wary when you smell a lot of that stuff, because when that stuff wears off, there's going to be dog smoke, dog smell, smoke, cigarette smoke. But okay, if you don't smoke, you're going to notice cigarette smoke, even if they try to cover it up with fresheners and all that. But still, a lot of agents will use candles and stuff to freshen it up. But I mean, if you're overpowered by that, then they're hiding something. Usually, not always, but be wary. I mean, there's a ton of stuff here. We could go on and on and on. I'm going to go skip to the very last one here because I think, again, save the best for last. And it's okay. Hey, number 23, and finally, be extra thorough if the house used to be rented out. Okay, yeah, because we bought a house that was rented, and before we moved in, it was riddled with bed bugs. Yeah. The inspector did not check this. It cost thousands. I had a fourplex, and there was about 3 years in, there was an outbreak of bed bugs, and I mean the tenants brought it in, but of course it's the landlord's job to get rid of them. But this was a while ago already. This was 10, 12 years ago. And it cost me, I think it was 2 treatments. But yeah, it didn't cost thousands, but it could. And bed bugs aren't fun. Okay, so hey, don't forget, if this is useful for you, if you're getting value, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. I like comments a lot. It helps for the engagement, and I like to address them. Gives me ideas for future content. Don't forget, if you got any real estate questions, if you want to go out and see any of these properties that I've been featuring, or you want to see any other properties in the areas that I service in, or even outside, I've featured many times my friends, out in the West End and north of the city, and I can put you on to them or whatever. Just give me a call. I could set you up with some really good people, and we could talk about also, in the area here, and we'll have a Zoom meeting, or we'll go out for coffee. Love meeting people for coffee. I met some friends, past clients last on Monday, and they had a referral for me. It was great. So let's meet for coffee. All right. So there you are. There's your Saturday morning, and thank you so much. Don't forget, every Thursday, 5 o'clock, and every Saturday at 7 o'clock, I put out a new video. So, yep, there we go. Woo! Have a great week. We'll see you next. Thank you so much. Ciao for now.